Since 1979, American and Iranian delegations have avoided sitting face-to-face. This summit ended that streak, only to collapse almost as soon as it began. In Islamabad, Pakistan, diplomats spent 20 grueling hours in a high-wire marathon negotiation that lasted straight through the night. The U.S. delegation sent in a team of heavy hitters, including Vice President J.D. Vance, alongside Special Envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. The mission was to provide a temporary pause to a massive joint U.S. and Israeli military operation aimed directly at Tehran. Then the rupture went public. President Donald Trump issued a lengthy statement on Truth Social, declaring the talks a definitive failure. While the two sides reportedly found common ground on minor technical points, the central demand became a deal-breaker. The U.S. required Iran to completely abandon its nuclear program, a concession the Iranian negotiators flatly refused. But buried in that nuclear standoff was a separate, immediate ultimatum. Using all caps, the president demanded the fast reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. This shift reveals a change in Washington's priorities. A global conflict now rests on the immediate blockade of a 21-mile-wide stretch of ocean, overshadowing years of debate over hypothetical underground weapons. The American baseline remains rigid. The White House insists that allowing volatile leadership to maintain nuclear power is a... Trump accused Iran of illegal extortion, pointing to the Iranian military's role in stifling maritime traffic through the strait. With the talks broken, Washington has been forced to reprioritize. Resolving an active blockade currently suffocating global energy markets has become a more urgent crisis than the long-term nuclear threat. To see how the center of gravity in this conflict moved, we have to look at the map. For years, the standoff focused almost entirely on inland facilities, protected enrichment sites hidden far from the coast. Now, the tension has moved south to the narrow neck of the Persian Gulf. This bottleneck carries a massive portion of global oil. By halting this flow, Tehran engineered a direct economic shock reaching into homes worldwide. Iran's price for reopening the waterway is steep: an immediate ceasefire in Lebanon and the release of all frozen financial assets. Because Tehran views the collapsed talks as the end of a ceasefire, they are digging in. Leadership has even elevated the blockade to the status of a religious decree. Weaponizing this trade route gives Tehran a potent, immediate bargaining chip that forces a global reaction in a way that slow-moving uranium enrichment cannot. The brief window of diplomacy that opened in Islamabad has slammed shut. Technical teams left behind to maintain a back channel have lost their mandate to negotiate. With the diplomatic talks in Islamabad definitively failed, the joint U.S. and Israeli military operation has rapidly resumed its strategic countdown. The White House has promised a strike of epic fury, stating that American forces are fully locked and loaded to engage at a time and place of their choosing. The threat of an all-out strike is already triggering market panic, with analysts bracing for a severe spike in energy costs as shipping remains stalled. The relationship between Washington and Tehran has moved into a dangerous new phase, where shadow wars have given way to direct military ultimatums. The primary threat to global stability has moved from hidden bunkers into the open waters of a narrow strait. By weaponizing these trade routes, Tehran has found a more direct way to pressure the West than nuclear development alone could offer.